The Denver Nuggets have had a pretty busy offseason, from trading away Michael Porter Jr. to bringing in Tim Hardaway Jr. and the return of Mr. Nugget himself, Bruce Braun, even doing the unthinkable, getting Nikola Jokic a serviceable backup big man. But in spite of all of these offseason moves that has everyone excited, including myself, I'm also looking forward to seeing another new player on this Nuggets team, Zach LaVine. I mean Christian Braun. Because not only does he look like a different person, but it's easy to forget last year was his first year as a full-time starter. And at just 24 years old, who is to say Christian Braun won't go to an even different level this season? Because when you look at the improvements he made last year, he more than doubled his points, doubled his steals, increased his assists, rebounds, minutes, and he also shot 58% from the field and nearly 40% from three, whilst boosting his free throw percentage as well. Honestly, it's a travesty that he only received 9 first place votes for most improved player with the kind of year he had. But what I'm focused on is how much of a leap Christian Braun can take from year 3 to year 4, because not only did he showcase a much improved offensive game last season, but one thing that stood out to me, in particular in the playoffs, was his defense. Entering the season and entering the playoffs with the loss of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, the question around Denver was who would defend the opposition's best guards, what KCP had done so well over the last couple of seasons. Aaron Gordon, obviously a fantastic wing defender and occasionally can switch onto guards, but who would do it all game long for 40 minutes? Well, Christian Braun took the assignment, and what was so impressive about his playoff defense was he got better over the course of the series, and in particular against his two primary matchups in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and James Harden. In other words, two of the most talented isolation scorers ever, and Christian Braun started to figure those guys out. And yes, I know Shai averaged 30 points a game, blah blah blah. Shai is going to get his points regardless, but there is a level of defense you can play to at least make it difficult. And that defense was so noticeable over the last few games of that series. And just to put that into perspective, here is the first bucket of the series from Shai, where he drives left, pump fakes at the free throw line, and look at CB get absolutely lost on that fake as Shai steps through for the bucket. Or here, where Shai drives right, and CB just isn't quite ready for that step back as he gets caught flat-footed, allowing Shai to get to his spot for the jumper. Now compare this to game 3 of the series, where he's initially backtracking in semi-transition against Shai. CB kind of bites on that initial fake, but it's that ability to recover, and before Shai can elevate, he swipes the ball on the way down. Or here this time where Shai drives right, but instead of giving Shai that room to operate, Braun uses his body to throw him off without fouling him, which obviously is easier said than done when guarding Shai, but he did it really well. And the numbers back this up as well, because as you can see from this list, not only did Braun guard Shai for the most possessions of anyone during the playoffs, but he also did a fantastic job holding him well below his usual efficiency. And over those last few games, you saw the physicality, you saw the quickness and the hands of Braun start to force Shai into some difficult shots that not many players can do. And it was the same for James Harden as well, because after the first few games of the series in which Harden looked fantastic, Braun started to figure him out, to the point where over Harden's last 4 games, he only averaged 15 points. I mean, just look at him here against Harden, the physicality to get in his space as he's trying to get to his step back, and then look at the deceleration from Braun before the initial poke away, before staying attached without fouling, and the perfect contest as well. And it wasn't just against Shai or Harden either. Any player who tried to attack CB in isolation had a difficult time, like here with J-Dub attacking in transition with that in and out, and like I said before, it's that recovery ability from Braun to stay in the play and then swat the shot, forcing the miss. And what makes CB such a good defender is not only does he have the foot speed, but it's the strength. All of these great guards are so strong. Even Shea, who doesn't look strong, is very big for a guard and uses that physicality consistently. CB can match that, and he also has the foot speed, the deceleration, the agility, the quickness to go with it as well. And when you look at what he does defensively, when you look at his cutting, his transition play, which is just incredible, he's already an elite role player. We saw that in year 3, in particular during the regular season, where he was consistently Denver's second, third, fourth best player on any given night. So that begs the question, what is the next step? Well, this is going to sound obvious, but it's the three-point shooting, because whilst he shot 39% from 3 during the regular season, we saw in the playoffs that it is a different beast. You can be an okay, serviceable shooter during the regular season, but in the playoffs, when you come up against elite defenses, they will game plan to make you shoot. And that's exactly what happened with Braun in both the Clippers and the Thunder series, where they were helping off Nikola Jokic, forcing him, Russell Westbrook, Peyton Watson, Julian Strawther, Aaron Gordon, all of these guys to beat them from beyond the arc. And the only player that consistently was able to was Aaron Gordon. This is the next step for Christian Braun, because as much as he can impact winning with his cutting, with his defense, with his rebounding, and his driving, if teams are going to help off you and double or triple team Nikola Jokic, all of that's just going to be so detrimental, and it's going to take away from so many of the great things that he does for this team. But outside of the obvious three-point shooting, there are other parts of Christian Braun's game that could, and I expect will, go to a different level. Just in general, more on-ball opportunities. What he did last year off the ball was incredible. I mean, he shot 58% from the field as a guard. You realize how insane that is? And that was from being a monster in transition and as a cutter. That is going to remain. If he can add a little bit more on-ball juice to his game, a little bit more playmaking, some more unassisted shot making, again, it's just going to help aid the best players on this team, and it'll turn Christian Braun into one of the consistently best players on this team. And the good thing is, over the last 31 games of the season, Christian Braun showed that he could, averaging 3.5 assists, becoming more comfortable handling the ball, and becoming more comfortable finding Nikola Jokic and his teammates in the best positions to score. Just like here, where he gets the screen from Jokic, and he does a good job at pulling J. Will and Shea away from him, so when he passes it back, Jokic has the space to then attack J. Will off the bounce. Now let me make it clear, I'm not expecting Christian Braun to be a 25 point per game scorer or an all NBA level player, but what I am expecting is for him to make improvements as a shooter and as a shot creator that could elevate his game and could elevate the Nuggets ceiling as well, particularly come playoff time.